use that name, but they are actually, you know, they are very dependent on marshes, but they are almost equally at home in large grasslands, so that's why they changed the name. How about this guy? Prairie falcon. Got some long wings for fast flight. You can typically notice they'll do a fast glide, a fast flat, and a glide, and they're pretty much direct. They know where they're going. And they're going after birds a lot. How about this guy? I failed. American kestrel or sparrowhawk, the one that sits up on the wires and stuff like that. Okay, now we have a guest. I'm going to have Eric come in. Show you the real one. You're the educator on this bird. You go
okay, so this is our new eastern screech owl. We've had him about 4 days now. We had one, unfortunately we got one from the Eagle, oh gosh, what is it, Eagle something Raptor Center down at Wichita. But he'd been hit by a car, and so we were rehabbing and working with him. He got an infection under his wings, so we had to have him put to sleep last week. So it was a sad day here at the Wetlands Center, but the next day, from the Stone Nature Center, we had the director up there was actually transferred to the zoo, and he couldn't keep all his birds, so we actually got this guy right here, which we call Pigwidgeon. So if any of you guys have ever read Harry Potter or heard of Harry Potter, that's where this guy got his name from. We think, so one of the only ways to really tell the difference between the males and the females is their size. And one of the ways you can really tell about them is feeling their keel, which is kind of right in here. And if you feel it and it's really sharp, that usually means they're small, underfed. In this case, this one is very small. It's underfed for the size it should be, which makes us think it's a female. But we're not completely sure yet, so we're just calling it an it. So we say good boy, sometimes we say good girl, trying to confuse it, get it all confused on what it really is, what sex it really is. But what we're going to do here is we're not actually going to do owl programs. We're going to do uses as a part of our other interpretive programs that we do, that we take to schools. So one thing we do are owl pellet dissections, which is very cool. Rob saves the owl pellets, which is basically the feathers and fur and stuff and the bones that get regurgitated up by the owls. So he saves them from the barn owls and stuff that they catch, or that they have housed over at their shed, or at the Wildlife and Park shed. And so we actually, when we go to local schools and do the owl dissections, or the owl pellet dissections, it's actually owls from Cheyenne Bottoms, and the kids actually get to see what the owls in Cheyenne Bottoms are actually eating, which is really cool. We also do a lot of bird adaptation, bird beaks, bills, that kind of stuff, with natural selection, so they can see how birds' beaks and stuff are adapted. So therefore, this guy will be used very much for that. We also have a program called Night Sounds, which we do with Cub Scout groups and a lot of other groups, where the kids get to actually come in, or adults, either one, and they get to hear the different animals and try to guess what they are. We get to show them some animals. So we're going to be using him, or her, whichever it is, pretty heavily in our programs. So this will be one of our new educational birds. And we actually have an enclosure out in the exhibit hall, a big box for it, that once we get it trained, this is only its 3rd time being out of its carrier. So this is very good. This bird is being this nice, because usually it would be baiting and going crazy. So this is only the 3rd time we've had it out of its box. So once we work with it a little bit more, the other educator, myself, then we'll start putting in the enclosure there, so it'll be on display too, until we get it, take it to school. So
there's a gray morph and a brown morph, right?
Correct.
And my question is, neither one of them is significant as far as male or female?
No, not with the color bands, no.
No, and the one that we had to put to sleep was actually the red color morph. But same basic size. And it's pretty amazing because you can literally put it in its pocket. Right now it's puffing up a little bit. When it doesn't puff during the day, it looks like it's about this big. You could really just stick it in your pocket. But they're pretty sweet. So I can walk on the side so you can get a closer look at it. Yeah, it's being really good.
All right, Eric's doing that. One thing I want to express upon you, Cheyenne Bottom is well known for being a What's this guy's name again, Eric?
Pigwood
From, what's that?
from Harry Potter.
Okay, well, that's a good name.
Where did he come from?
This one actually came from the Stone Nature Center up by, is that by Topeka? I think it's right up, somewhere right around Topeka. And this one had actually been an educational bird. They used it for 4 years as an educational bird. And this guy was actually, they think it was hit by a car as well. He's actually blind in his right eye. So we don't actually keep the birds. Most of the